Hot Tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Island Tea right here on Winner Media SKN. It's Friday. It's officially the 1st of July, guys. We're squarely into July now.
I'm afraid.
Here we go.
I am afraid.
Here we go. I am looking forward to what this month brings.
You are?
Yes, it's going to bring announcements. It's going to bring some announcements, yeah.
Boy,
Woo!
it's about to be a heck of a month, boy.
Bye. Bye.
You just be safe and use rational, those who have it left.
Wait, Timo, you say walk with your bell next meeting. So who knows? Next meeting is Sunday.
So that's a hint? Watch you. Hurry up.
Yeah. But guys, on Fridays we usually link up with our friends in Antigua. Today is no different. We're going to jump into that in just a second. But before we do, of course, I have to check to make sure my lovely co-host, Jade Gwen, Edita, CPL Mathis, Stuart Johnson, is ready and able. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Last night, I'm not going to lie, yesterday I wasn't feeling too well.
Woo. What was happening yesterday?
I had a headache. I was feeling dizzy and all of these things. I was like, bye.
You eat now?
I'm not dead. I don't know. I think I was just extra tired from the weekend's activities. It's like everything was just
catching up on you?
Yeah, man. Put me down for a bit.
Yeah.
But I woke up feeling fresh. Took 2 little paracetamol last night.
Boom bam.
Sorted that right out.
Whatever in them little magic pills,
Bye.
Whatever in them little magic pills.
So a doctor told me the best time Lord, don't go eating them. The best time to consume a paracetamol when you have a headache is on an empty stomach. Yeah, he said it works better and faster.
Well, I guess ain't competing with nothing else to get broken down.
Mm-hmm.
Just go in the belly and just
do it thing.
Dissolve into the bloodstream. Boop, boop.
Yeah,
knock out the headache there.
They do.
You know, the funny thing is when I think about like medication and things like paracetamol and doing the job that they're doing, I always imagine it like little paracetamol troops.
There's a guy on TikTok that remakes functions of the body. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm not the only one then.
Mm-mm.
And I think it came from watching a lot of Magic School Bus when I was small. Remember the Magic School Bus?
Mm-hmm.
They would just shrink down and go into the body and so.
Magic School Bus. That
I
was
love Magic School Bus.
OG television. That was quality television right there.
I am looking for the entire season of Magic School Bus.
It's on Netflix.
Really?
You didn't know Magic School Bus on Netflix?
I don't really be in the kids section.
Oh, okay, that would explain.
Yeah, I don't really be in the kids section, so I don't know what's going on over there.
I've passed it many of times.
I'm literally searching for it now because this might actually help me keep my
Magic School Bus. Watch it right there. See? Told you. All you parents listening, put these new kids onto Magic School Bus, okay?
Hold on, but no, these the new ones, man.
No, this one is the new one?
This one says literally rides again. This one says rides again in space.
It don't matter.
This one says rides again in the zone.
See, you have options.
Frizzle Connect. But no, I think
And
these
then
are
Umbrella
movies.
Academy.
See, these are movies.
No, I swear I see the series on Netflix.
This might be a series, but yeah, but this is the new one, the 2018 one.
That's fine.
No, we want the OG.
Then go on YouTube. So,
Oh my God,
let me pop over here to see if our friend... Nope, they're not ready as yet. Guys, we're waiting on the arrival of our special guest for this morning as well.
Don't even tell them we'll be yet.
We tell them yesterday.
Oh, yeah, right.
And y'all in traffic blocking him.
Watch, me and what been going on the last few days. Traffic has been crazy on my way here.
Really?
I leave in the same time and just get coming later and later. It's like,
And
okay.
y'all say gas away. So where all these cars coming from?
No, what going on is all these guys driving slow because they want money gas. That's what going on. You want money said?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know if that's what's going on. Last night again we had band practice. I had a similar discussion with the band here. I said, watch here, they're stepping on the gas. I don't know if it's water or rubbing alcohol they're putting in it, but they're putting something in it, Jade.
Boy.
They're putting something in the gas. I understand the gas more expensive, so I can get less.
Yeah.
But my quarter tank finishing way quicker.
Listen,
I running around doing oil changes, thinking, let me see if that can help. Tal.
I am not jealous of y'all at all.
Tal.
I am so not jealous of y'all.
I still waiting on somebody in Nevis to send me a donkey. Because I can't understand how was supposed to survive.
Everything up, so the things you have to feed the donkey, the price is gone.
No, Jay, they got grass. But me, I'm in a drought.
Oh, so what you gonna do?
Oh.
Yes, you are salt, my friend.
Okay, I might just gotta do like them bike, man. Them youngsters on their bike. Let's get a
You
bike.
can be fit.
Let's get a bike.
You shall be the
I've
fittest.
really been saying I need to step up my cardio.
There you go. Kill two birds with one stone.
Got a little stubborn little pooch. Right here.
Don't we all?
You know the upper abs them there, right? But you know the last two abs they just be stubborn.
No, I've never had that experience, friend. I'm gonna let you.
Ah.
I've never had the luxury of having abs.
You want us working it?
Not really. That never stopped me
Oh,
yet.
girl, all we got to do is get you a case of fish poisoning and maybe salmonella mixed in.
So you're admitting to trying to assassinate me live on here?
No,
Wow.
Jade, you can't expect to get these kind of results and then put in the work, Jade. Come on.
It's okay. I can stick to the little body dagger.
This video talking about drinking lipo tea and all kind of thing. I really feel them today can help out.
Yes. Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
The tea, so like y'all doing the same Magic School Bus animations where you drink the tea and the tea just go and attack your fat cells?
You don't know about that. But our friends in Antigua look like they're ready.
Is that so?
Yes, indeed.
Well, I am excited.
I am as well. Let's see if they're there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
As
mo-
in, what are you excited about?
The
What?
interview.
Oh, the Honorable Shawn Richards. Is he in studio as yet?
He is.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
The Honorable Shawn Richards. Good morning.
Good morning to everyone. I am doing quite well, and I'm quite happy to be here this morning.
All right. Well, how is St. Kitts? How is the feeling in St. Kitts after the music festival? Let's at least start on that light note, if you don't mind. I'm curious.
He asking you.
Oh, that question is for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, everybody in St. Kitts.
Well, I think the music festival is basically the start of the election campaign. So it's from one festivity into the next.
Into the next, boy.
Yes.
So that sounds like you have some special things for us.
Listen out, and you will learn of those special things.
dear.
What
Oh,
I
man.
can say to you is I have my campaign launch next week, Wednesday, and it's going to be a fantastic one.
Boom bang.
Where will this be held?
It's going to be held in Central Bastille. The exact venue is still being finalized, but by tomorrow you will start hearing more about it.
Okay.
Exclusives here on Island TJ.
Y'all blocking off any roads as well?
It depends on the venue, Jade.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, of course, Mr. Richards, when you come and join us, it's always great information and a great talk. I don't expect it to be any different. Of course, you are no stranger to our friends in Antigua as well, and so I know they're very excited to hear about exactly what's going on. But I'll defer to Darren to start off the questioning. Darren, you have any questions for the leader?
Yes, I do. I want to first ask, after the speech by the current Prime Minister, sorry.
You're correct.
Lord, I hope that's not a Freudian slip. But anyway, well, depending on how you look at it and which side of the fence you're on. But yeah, since his address where he sacked you and a number of other members of the cabinet and, leveled the accusation that, you weren't doing your job anyway, you hadn't been to cabinet for so many days, etc., etc. Has that had any adverse impact on your currency as a political leader or on your campaign as a leader of PAM? Have you perceived any impact at all, or has that helped?
It has actually helped me in terms of ensuring that, as you just said, he becomes the former Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I have not determined any adverse impact. It has given me time to campaign. It has given the people of St. Kitts and Nevis an opportunity to examine him and to recognize that the outgoing Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, as you have stated, hasn't been looking after the affairs of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I'm sorry. I hope there's no soundbite that's going to be clipped.
Oh, it's already clipped.
Meme or some.
We'll send it to you.
Anyway, sorry about that, Honorable Shawn Richards. Go
No
ahead.
apologies to me
was
at all.
just being-
Yes. And coming out of that, we have been able to bring to the right now is that of the $2.4 billion Harris prison. He been
Selfish move.
apart from benefiting himself and benefiting his constituency, you also have the fact that the construction of the $2.4 billion Harris prison is beneficial to his family and friends. When you look at the construction of this prison, which is involved in the sale of the tracted to clear the land site for the prison, you have a next individual. Some say he's a family member, some say he is a close friend of the family. But what we do know is that this individual has the contract for security at the prison site. We also do know that the same gentleman, and he admitted this to me, has a block making plant at the site. He said he hasn't sold any blocks to any of them.
And personal enrichment is also a part of the campaign in Antigua, where government ministers are accused or being accused. One more follow-up question.
Yeah, sure.
The soothsayers, as in the incumbent, Dr. Timothy Harris, you will be former, but not former to your benefit, i.e. you being the Prime Minister of St. Kitts Nevis. It will benefit the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party and their
consideration. You have pastors. Now, some of the very same pollsters who you hear making these particular pronouncements would have said that your government just yesterday suggested that the pollsters got it completely wrong in Grenada.
All right. You'll forgive me. Well, I'm going on the assumption, and of his position stated that the poll that he conducted, the national poll he conducted, was at least a month plus prior to the date of the election, and that he did conduct two. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but
you what this gentleman.
Okay, which means that you're going against what being referring to what pollsters have said in terms of who will benefit from the breakup of Team Unity. Then in terms of what they would have observed, this would have come, I would think, even a month before the general election. See, so you are actually agreeing with what I said.
Okay. I'm trying not to agree or disagree. I get in trouble with this. The role is supposed to be down the middle. But you understand the point I'm making. And I mean, to be fair, it's not just Mr. Wickham or pollsters. The suggestion is, based on just how St. Kitts politics is, margins are narrow in some constituencies, very narrow in some constituencies. And especially if you're going to have a situation where people are not going to be able to come back home to vote, that might make all the difference. And the Labour Party does know how to crank up that machine. So how do you plan a strategy, a campaign strategy to counter those inherent perceived advantages?
Well, that campaign strategy is very much still in place. My candidates are out there engaging with the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, speaking to the issues affecting the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have already outlined several plans, several programs to address many of the issues we have heard on the campaign trail. For example, we know that there's an issue with unemployment, and we have indicated to the public certain programs in which we intend to address that particular issue. We have said to young persons, for example, that a dream fund would be put in place whereby young persons are able to access funding for their business ideas, because sometimes you have the idea, but what you lack is the financial resources to be able to do so. We have spoken to food security and agriculture and how we intend to take many persons from off of the street, persons who are involved in cutting grass, and make them farmers. They not only are being paid to farm, but they also get a percentage of the profit from farming. We have spoken about housing, for example, and ensuring that more houses are being built, not just to satisfy the need for housing, but that in itself will also create jobs for persons in that specific area of expertise. We have said that in terms of healthcare, which is a big issue, that we intend to address it, not just in terms of the quality of service provided, but in terms of the services provided, and in terms of ensuring that there is a new healthcare facility, because a new healthcare facility, of course, should be prioritized over a $2.4 billion prison that is currently being constructed. These are some of the concerns that we have addressed. These are the priorities for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and not $88 million. Yet, passport fees, CBI revenue in the amount of $2.4 billion is being raised to construct the prison. The question, therefore, becomes, who is benefiting from this $2.4 billion if it is only costing $88 million to build the prison?
Okay.
And that is
on Mr. Patch's show this week. Did you get to see that interview?
That is a show I don't waste my time to listen.
Well then, of context. He said based on the information, 1,500 shares, and that it's equal to 2.2 billion. There's an assumption here that EC 2.2 billion is taking away from 0.2 billion. There is 5,000/5,500, whatever the number is in terms of the number of shares that have been allocated.
Is supposed to be sold at $175,000 US. That is what the law says.
To then fund developments here in the country is something that can, let's say, be used to fund other projects moving forward. So is it that there's an issue with the way in which this is being done in terms of using the CBI program to, outside of just the fact that the program to fund these types of developments?
A very good question. And you have
Hey, what noise you making now? You are part. You're
decided that Timothy Harris doesn't have the interest of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis at heart. We went there to serve the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Timothy Harris demonstrated over and over again that his main interest is that of his family and a close circle of friends.
all right. All right, we're gonna have to us here in Antigua Observer Radio. We're gonna have to take our leave momentarily because we have at least one more segment to go. But your anticipation of the date. I mean, do you have any idea, any clue of when this election is going to be, or does it even matter to you?
As far as I am concerned, at this particular point in time, the day of freedom for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis is almost here. Today is the 1st of July. The parliament was dissolved on the 10th of May, so at the latest, an election can be held around the 9th of August. My own feeling is that the election is going to be held during this month of July, and so I expect the elections to be held the 20-something of July.
All right.
Yeah.
Looking forward. We're not seeing you though. Your camera appears to be off, Jade. I mean, Jade and there you are. You didn't want us to see you?
I don't know why they're hiding me from the people.
No, you are being seen by everyone. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's just Antigua. All right. I just want to thank you so much. Honorable Shawn Richards, it's always great chatting with you. Hopefully we'll get to speak again before the next general elections. I'm pretty sure we will have an opportunity before the next general elections. Look forward to it. And I hope that you have a safe and an enjoyable weekend, all of you.
All right, Darren, same to you as well.
Thank you, Darren, and same to you. And indeed, I look forward to speaking to you again before the election and certainly also after the elections when I will be back in government as the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Them is fighting words. Well, we look forward to that. We look forward to the outcomes. Yes, we look forward to the outcomes. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
I wish you all the best. All right, take good care.
All right, man, appreciate it. All right, but Shawn, you willing to just stick around for a few more minutes?
Sure, I can.
All right, awesome. Well, I mean, you said that next week is going to be the official launch of the campaign. However, you guys have been putting in work already. Remember the town halls. I know I've seen members of the party, other candidates moving around the constituencies and talking. What has been the general feedback from persons as you guys have done these, let's say, ramp-up events into the campaign, especially the canvassing? What's been the word coming out of those exercises?
The feedback has been very positive. Additionally, as I said earlier, the feedback has given us the framework in terms of the policies that persons would want to see us put in place as a new government between CCM and PAM. Hence, many of the issues such as health care, such as unemployment, such as opportunities for young people, such as when we say to young persons that we will have 2 young persons on every single board. These are being governed, these are being dictated by the voice of the people out there on the campaign trail. As persons speak to us about the need for housing, the need for land, the need for better roads. This week, I had the opportunity to speak to a gentleman who has an interest in farming, but who is unable to get land to pursue that particular dream. And so I was able to explain to him the plan that we have for farmers here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. As we go around and we speak to persons who have had to come into contact with the healthcare sector, and you have persons who have issues in terms of in need of insurance because certain procedures they need to get done and they don't have the money to be able to do so. I met an elderly man one evening who said to me that he broke his hand one night, went to the hospital and was refused care and attention.
Excuse me?
Because he didn't have the money on him.
What?
To be able to access it. And he said it is only after someone came there with the money to pay that his particular issue was then addressed. So these are some of the stories that I continue to receive from persons. And so as I hear these stories, I am able to empathize with persons. I am able to discuss with my team some of the programs that we can put in place to address these issues.
Well, I mean, of course, understanding the needs of the people and the plight of the people would, of course, inform you guys' programs and things you intend to implement. And I'm sure we're going to be hearing more about these as the campaign progresses. But of course, in order to implement these programs, you and your team have to be successful at the polls come election day. What is the feeling amongst the party supporters, you as the leader, and of course the other candidates as to your ability to be victorious? Does it feel like there's work to be done? Does it feel like you guys are in a good position and need to maintain where you're at? What is the general feeling as to the state of the party?
Every single vote counts, and so in that respect, the work continues right up until election day, and even after election day in terms of becoming the government and looking after the needs of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. However, the more and more canvassing we do, the more and more positive we feel because we're able to touch base with persons, we're able to hear their stories, we're able to interact with them and let them know how we intend to address the issues. You are able to change the perspective of some persons, and you are able to get persons to commit to supporting the People's Action Movement. That is what we are out there doing, and that is what we are gathering from persons. Well,
so some may say that you guys may have had 7 years to implement these programs that you are speaking on. Why haven't they started, or have they been started? Has any groundwork been laid for these programs? And why should people now believe that after 7 years that these things will actually come to fruition?
What I would say is that during the 7 years that we have been part of a Team Unity, we have been very successful in implementing many of the programs that Team Unity brought to fruition. The PAP program is a program that I personally was part of a conversation during which we came up with that particular poverty alleviation program. The Peace Initiative, which has been successful in terms of reducing the crime rate here in St. Kitts and Nevis. The members of PAM, the members of CCM, were part of the implementation of that program. And so the success of the program is due to our bringing into being that particular program. I would wish to remind persons that between PAM and CCM, we had the majority of persons in the cabinet, especially during the majority time that Team Unity spent in office. That was 2015 to 2020. You had 7 elected persons, of which 4 came from the People's Action Movement and 2 came from CCM, so that any plans and policies which came forth from the government would have been fully supported and would have come from the People's Action Movement and from CCM. So yes, In terms of laying the groundwork for some of these programs, we began laying the groundwork for these programs. You would recall that in terms of the good governance legislation, we did go to Parliament in terms of the term limits for anyone serving in the office of Prime Minister. And indeed, we voted in favor of it. As a matter of fact, the members of the government bench voted in favor of that particular piece of legislation. Those on the opposition bench, they did not vote in favor of it. And so if your only elected persons were able to vote on that particular piece of legislation, and so if you consider that 7 elected persons voted in favor of that piece of legislation, 6 of those 7 would be the then members of PAM and CCM who were part of the cabinet between 2015 and 2020. So we had began pursuing that good governance legislation. In terms of the build out of the marijuana industry, we continue to push for it. I know in particular the Honorable Matt Brantley came to cabinet week after week and week after week and lamented that we are losing ground to our neighbors in terms of ensuring that the marijuana industry comes on stream fully as it ought to be. And so we have given a commitment in terms of ensuring that within a very short period of time, those who have an interest in the marijuana industry would be able to pursue their interest.
That's you, Jane? Okay.
Sounds good to me.
But I mean, it does seem to say that while you guys were there, you were involved in several of these initiatives and these programs, even and as Jade asked, laying the groundwork for some of these projects. Some of which may not have been fully realized, but like you said, the groundwork has been laid. I'm looking on at the dynamic that is unfolding between the parties, and one of the things that I put it to you like this: I was at the town hall meeting in Sadler's. That was shortly following the dismissals, and it was very, I'll just say, just for want of a better word, weird to not have Eugene Hamilton be there, right? It felt weird because he's always been there, right? As we continue moving along and the campaigns are ramping up and things, it seems as though we are seeing persons who have traditionally been aligned with your party now seemingly switching allegiances to some of the other parties, in particular PLP. Like, and I'm looking on as, thinking, how do the supporters feel about that dynamic? Because these are people who they would have seen championing and supporting and been in the trenches with yourself, with them, as the party intended, did what it was mandated to do, right? How does is that something that plays on your mind? Like how because I'm trying to understand how that dynamic plays into where the party is right now and how you guys feel about some of those the distance being put between yourself and some of these what we would call PAM stalwarts.
I have been in politics as an elected member of parliament since 2004. And so in terms of persons moving across the political divide, it certainly isn't something new to me. If you take Dr. Harris himself, who was a Labour parliamentarian for some 20-something years before he left the Labour Party, that in itself gives you a very good example as to how persons move and switch across political party lines. It, however, doesn't mean that at the end of the day the political party doesn't survive. It doesn't mean that the political party isn't victorious. You take an individual such as Kevin Ninky Williams, who was a candidate for the People's Labour Party in the last general elections, and who now has stated to a number of persons that he can no longer support Dr. Harris. You see again how persons move along different political party lines. You take the Sam Conda, who was with Dr. Harris from the start, and you look at the fact that Sam Conda is on radio on a weekly basis. He's saying, just as many other persons are saying, that Timothy Harris is bad for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. You recognize what is happening. You take Dwyer Astafan, who was a long-standing member of the Labour Party, left the Labour Party. He joined with Dr. Harris in terms of PLP and has now moved away from Dr. Harris, and again you get a very good example of such. So you have many examples that I can speak to. You have persons like Clecton Phillip, persons like Douglas Watley. These were persons who were there at the foundation of PLP, at the start of PLP, and who have since moved away from PLP because these are persons who have learned the true character and nature of Dr. Harris. Yes, you do have some PAM supporters who have decided to support PLP, and they too, unfortunately, will learn the true nature and the character of Dr. Harris. However, will those persons stop the People's Action Movement from being victorious? No. Because just as you have persons who would have supported PAM moving elsewhere, you have those who would have supported PLP who have moved elsewhere, and you have those who support the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party who are also moving elsewhere, and some of them are moving towards the People's Action Movement, and we meet a number of those persons every single day.
Nice.
Well, I see that we are running out of time, but I just wanted to know, since the whole debacle of, you guys separating and the parties removing themselves from the team unity arrangement, when I say you guys, I mean you and Dr. Harris, have you guys had a conversation since this whole firing and everything has come to fruition?
No, I have not had any conversations with him.
See anywhere in the future where you guys can sit down and hash this out, because you guys used to be on the same party, and
I'm not sure what is there to hash out at this point in time.
So the answer is no.
Man, so the lines have been drawn, Jade.
There is nothing to hash out.
The lines have been drawn. You understand?
Okay.
We have already made a decision. We have already moved apart. We gave Dr. Harris more than enough time to come to the table. We gave him some 3-4 opportunities to come to the table and have a discussion and negotiate with us, and each and every single time he refused to do so, and that is why we are now at the stage where we are.
Well, I mean, yeah, Jay said time kind of running us out, but I want to piggyback on that question, and this is something that I've been asking all of the political leaders as they come and I meet with us personally. And it's a personal thing. I believe that when we have elections, no matter who is elected, if there's a situation where there are representatives from several parties, it's in Parliament, the expectation should be, at least on some level, they're able to work together, right? We see that the relationship between PAM and CCM is strong. You guys have worked together and have recognized that this is something that we can continue to do. Is there a situation where after the elections, depending on who is elected, that we can see within government partnership between the People's Action Movement, CCM, and any of the other candidates from any of the other parties?
Very good question. Firstly, let me say that relationships are built on trust. Relationships are built on respect. And that is partly why the relationship with Dr. Harris would have broken down, because there wasn't that trust, there wasn't that respect for his colleagues. Though we accorded him respect, we accorded him trust, it wasn't forthcoming coming from him. There are other persons within the parliament who are not PAM supporters, not PAM, who were not elected on a PAM ticket or a CCM ticket, who and I have gotten along quite well for years now. But again, that is out of trust, and that is out of respect. Can you expect to see more of that when we get back into government? Certainly, I expect to see more of that. Because we have demonstrated that we have the ability to respect each other. We have the ability to trust each other. And that is why today we're able to say to you that PAM and CCM is coalescing in terms of farming and administration. Additionally, on the political platform, one of the policies that we have spoken about is a constituency empowerment fund, whereby each elected person, regardless of which political party you come from, once you are an elected member of parliament, a constituency empowerment fund is made available to you so that you're able to achieve certain things within your constituency. You don't necessarily have to depend on the government or go through the bureaucracies of government in order to be able to get certain little things accomplished within your constituency. The final thing that I want to say is that we must remember first and foremost that we are representatives of the people. We are there to serve the people. If we keep that in our minds and we are focused on serving the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, then we would have more respect for each other, because we would recognize that though I come from a particular constituency, St. Kitts and Nevis is bigger. It comprises of all of the constituencies. It comprises of all of the people. And we can only fully develop the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis if indeed we are looking out for the best interest of all of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. If we are looking out for the best interest of all of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, then we respect each other as parliamentarians. We take the views of each other into consideration, because those views will help to guide us in terms of the policies, the programs which are needed to move all of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis forward, regardless of which political party they support.
I mean, I'm so happy to hear you say this, because I think that type of rhetoric, that type of understanding is something that has been lacking in previous years. The understanding that regardless of party, and of course it's difficult because the campaign sometimes could get really intense. Really intense, and so even once people make their decisions on election day, you may end up with persons from different political parties in parliament, and sometimes that carries over into either governance or just into what happens in parliament, in the National Assembly. But I'm really happy to hear you say that you have bluntly stated that trust and respect was undermined based on the actions of Timothy Harris, as it relates to both of you at least. Does that, and you spoke specifically to parliamentarians, which is why I'm going to single out, does that respect and trust exist between you and, say, former Prime Minister Denzil Douglas?
Denzil Douglas and I enjoy a healthy enough relationship. I would have seen him up to Sunday at White Sands. We would have exchanged pleasantries. We spoke for about maybe 2 minutes or so on some particular issues of concern. He and I are actually served on the Boundaries Commission during this last term of the Parliament, and there was always that level of respect. I can say to you in terms of the representative for constituency number 1, Jeffrey and I have always had quite a good relationship. The senator then, this is a young lady who I have known since she was in high school, and had the ability to work with her, assisting with debates and that sort of thing. And so we were still able to enjoy that particular relationship.
Nice.
Well, there's supposed to be a label-led match today. Will you be participating?
No, I will not be participating in that match today.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, is there any last words you want to leave with our viewers or listeners as we wrap up?
Certainly. I take the opportunity to say to the viewers and the listeners that this election is a critical election for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I am not aware Well, that isn't correct, because between 1993 and 1995, because of the political impasse, then you had an early election. But in terms of a coalition coming to an end, this is perhaps the first time we have seen this, and it is because of the actions of one man. And when persons begin to take a critical look, they must be able to understand that this man was with one political party. That political party got rid of that man. This man then joined with two other political parties, and the two other political parties said to the Governor General that we can no longer continue to work with this man. We do not support this man because he's not working in the best interest of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So that the common factor there is one individual. And so persons must pay attention and ask themselves, why is it that this one individual has issues working with just about everyone? Why is it that people find it difficult to trust this one individual? Why is it that everyone is saying that this individual is one who undermines, that this individual is one who is about family first, family first? Family first, family must come first. You have PAM and CCM, which have demonstrated that we are about putting people first. Putting people first. People's Action Movement, we said to you that we put people first. When it comes to CCM, CCM says to the people of Nevis that people matters, performance matters, and so you want to perform on behalf of the people of Nevis. We say that on election day this month, to give us your full support to ensure that in terms of going forward here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, that the interests of you, the people, are looked after first and foremost. Your priority, your priorities are our priorities. And we know that your priority is not the construction of a prison for $2.4 billion EC. We know that some of your priorities are employment, healthcare, giving young people the opportunity to become entrepreneurs, giving persons the opportunity to invest in agriculture, land, housing, etc. Those are your priorities that we have at the core of our programs, not the construction of a prison for $2.4 billion EC dollars, as is being currently undertaken by Dr. Harris. Say no to the Dr. Harris $2.4 billion EC prison. Thank you.
Well, it was a pleasure having you, and we're sure that we'll hear more from you and your camp as the election draws closer this month. So, yes.
I got information we ain't got.
Well, I'm repeating what he said. He said this month, so I'm assuming through the grapevines he may have heard a date. Would you like to share that date with us, sir?
He said the 20-something.
I leave it at the 20-something for now.
Okay.
They might go and change their mind if I give you the actual date.
And you said next week you'll be having what?
The launch of PAM's campaign, and that's next Wednesday evening.
All right, and it'll be in constituency 2.
Right. Exactly.
So listen out, guys, for more details as it relates to that. But again, Mr. Richards, appreciate you coming in and talking to us this morning. It's always a pleasure, sir. All right, guys, we're going to take a short break and be right back with more Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. Stick and stay.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
It's that time of the year again. The time when Horsewood Furniture and Appliances gives away millions in cash back for free groceries with every FlexPlay purchase. Never-ending cash back for the past 25 years. SL Horsewood and Company Limited, Horsewood Furniture and Appliances Showroom, Ashley Furniture Home Store, in collaboration with ValueMart IGA, has given customers millions of dollars in cash back for free groceries with every hire purchase in their never-ending cash back. Yes, the Horsewood's cash back free groceries annual program and promotion is the biggest and longest running of its kind in the Federation. Come today and get cashback coupons for absolutely free groceries in the never-ending cashback promotion. Yes, happening now. Get cashback coupons for absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase. The never-ending cashback is back at Horsewood Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Home Store, where you get cashback coupons for free groceries with every FlexPay purchase. Never-ending savings, never-ending discounts, never-ending quality and service. It's the never-ending cashback. Don't miss it. Terms and conditions apply.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.
How do I prepare a disaster plan? Step 1. Learn as much as you can. The first step is research. Do not wait until a disaster is coming to find important information. This step is incredibly important for your plan. Here are some things you should find out. What hazards are you exposed to? Do you live near the ocean or any rivers? Are you near to a volcano? The type of hazard you're exposed to will determine the way you prepare yourself. Find out about disaster plans at your child's school and at your workplace. Are there persons with disabilities in your family? Do you know how to help them? What about your pets? Do you have a plan for them? For more information, visit NEMA.kn or log on to NEMA SKN on Facebook.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware.
Hey guys, welcome back to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. Jade, why you always stirring up trouble in the people in the nation?
What?
Asking all kind of weird questions at the minute.
Questions that the nation needs to hear.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But guess what? We also, right after that, are jumping into another interview with some friends. They are here from the Ministry of Entrepreneurship. It's too much things. Entertainment. All kind of things, but I'll let them introduce themselves as we get into the interview. Guys, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. We're doing fine.
Good morning. I am great. Living my dream here on Win FM 98.9.
The dream is to be on the radio?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying I'm living my dream, but I'm here whilst I'm here.
Okay, we got you.
Awesome. But for the persons who may not know your faces or your lovely voices, introduce. Yes, the camera is right here. Your camera is right here. So yes, you're on camera. You look great. Don't worry about it. But let the people know exactly who we're speaking to.
Okay, so we are here from the Ministry of Entrepreneurship, Entertainment, and Talent Development. My name is Leah Craig Chatterton. I'm the Assistant Secretary in the Ministry, and I will let my colleague introduce himself.
Okay, guys, my name is Asquith Watson. I am the IT Business Analyst within the Ministry, and we are here to talk about the launch that's happening this evening.
So, look, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I have seen posters circulating all over the place. I know people are looking forward to what is in store. But you mentioned the launch. What exactly is being launched this evening?
It is a 3-in-1 celebration. So we are launching the ministry proper. As you know, the ministry was started in 2020 in the midst of the pandemic, so it didn't allow us for a real big reveal. So we're doing that now that we have the opportunity to do. We are also launching our website as well as our new local TV channel.
What?
Yes, you
Big
heard.
things all around.
Yes.
Big things all around. So, like you said, the ministry was commissioned in 2020, and you guys have been building out the ministry, I'm sure, since then. And now we're at a point where here is one of the newest undertakings from the ministry, which is the local television channel. And what's the official name of the channel?
Moent TV.
Moent TV. Awesome. Well, firstly, let's talk about the event this evening. Where is it going to be, and who's invited, etc.?
It's going to be at the Splash Restaurant. We start at 5:30 with the ceremony, and that's immediately followed with some live performances from our wonderful entertainers here on island. Everyone is invited. We're not excluding anyone.
So
Certainly,
you want people to come out and hang out?
Yes, it's an after work Friday evening hangout with us. We are especially hoping to see as many creatives as possible, as we'd like to interact with them. We do have a star-studded lineup for you after the ceremony, but during the ceremony as well, we have a wonderful fanfare lined up that's starring the Synergy Movement dancers, Candace Richards. We also have our local folklore groups, the Masquerades, Makajumbies, our drummers, Word and Friends drummers. We also will have in that fanfare the SKN Unchained models, and they will be modeling fashion by Elle Couture. So we have a nice lineup for you. We've tried to include as many creatives as possible. It's only our first event of this nature. Obviously, it's the launch. We wanted it to be big. We are looking forward to having other events where we can include more and more creatives as we go along.
All right. Well, you mentioned some of the persons that are gonna be involved in the launch and the ceremony. But could you give us a sneak peek as to some of the entertainers who we could expect to see this evening?
Sure. Tonight, you can expect to see Akayu Sweet.
What? Girl
Yes.
fam? Any idea?
We also have Nichabi on the lineup. We also have the Grandmasters who's going to rock us the final act on the lineup. We also have Dijo.
Okay.
We have
313 and Katie Dan.
All right. Well, I mean, that seems like
having a whole show, man.
Yeah. Well, you see, I'll take this. I didn't subscribe to the music festival activities last week, so this is my music festival. So this is the lineup. It's kind of selfish, but yeah, this is my music festival.
Your own festival.
Yes, yes. But we knew that coming out of COVID as well, a lot of the entertainers really were having a difficult time as our parties and events were at a standstill. We're now coming back, opening up, and we thought instead of just having the regular run-of-the-mill ceremony where we go to a conference room and we have some speeches, why not do it as a big entertainment, an event, and get persons more familiar with us, reach out to them. We used mostly persons who we've interacted with already, who've come in, who've started their registration process, and we want to encourage persons to come in and register as well, as this helps us to know who you are. And that's our first line of discovery. We look into our registry, see who's registered with us. We start there, and then we move out depending on what we need. But once we reach out to you, we have you register, and then we always have you in our database for future events.
And to register, we want you guys to come to the office at the National ICT Center up by the industrial site opposite the fisheries. We want you guys to walk with 2 pieces of ID and your updated business license. There are benefits that comes with registering as a member. We have right now we have our angel investor, where we giving loan up to 30,000, 0% interest, and we also have the cable fast internet package that you could get for about $90-something. So, and other benefits to come like duty-free concessions, and we have access to training. So we want you guys to come to the office and walk with your 2 pieces of ID, sign the form, and get your receipt so that you could receive these benefits for the future.
All right. Well, there seems to be a lot happening with the ministry. Quickly though, could you give persons an idea of what? I know, of course, this might be jumping the ball a little bit. However, we like exclusives here on Island T.
Of course.
We like exclusives here on Island T. So, could you give people even just a brief overview of what they can expect from the upcoming Moment TV?
Moment TV is a platform for our local artists or creatives. It is not a studio, though. Let me be clear about that. We will eventually have some live capacity. However, initially and generally, it is a platform. So you submit your content that's pre-recorded, packaged, whether it's a TV show, a video podcast. Wait, is podcast just automatically video or is
it could be either?
Oh, okay, all right, great. Your dance recitals, if you have a music video that you've done and you'd like it to be on the station, and all of this is free. I don't know if I mentioned that before. We are broadcasting your content for free. Yes. We do have some requirements. We'll submit that to you to let you know the packaging that we require in terms of the definition, the outro, intro, that sort of thing. That is not my forte, so I definitely can't go into that in detail. But you will get that up front. You submit your content, and we air it for you.
Right. Just bring your ideas.
All right, guys. Well, looking forward to hear more about that for sure, and of course, excited about the event this evening.
Yes, there will be the big reveal of the channel. So you have to come on out to Splash and find out what channel this will be on the cable TV.
And the website. Don't forget the website. Our website will be launching as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm sure with all these things in the pipeline and being launched tonight that we're going to hear more from you guys and from the ministry as time goes on. So we're looking forward to that. Any final words before we wrap up?
Sure, just to let everyone know, we will be there 5:30 sharp at Splash Restaurant this afternoon. We want you to be there. Come here from us, hear about the ministry, hear what we have in store for you, learn about Moent TV, learn how you can contribute to Moent TV. Come on out, hang out with us, enjoy a great evening at Splash.
Yes.
All right, guys, appreciate that. So we're looking forward to seeing you this evening. I know I'm going to come over and check it out, see what's going on. Girl fam, Jade. Come on.
Entertainment can't miss.
I must say, Aka is my number one draw as well.
I'm pretty sure plenty ladies feel the same way.
I ain't gonna say nothing else. I ain't gonna say a thing else.
He just has this magical power. I don't know what it is.
He said he sprinkles love in the rhythms.
Oh,
that's what he said. I asked him about it.
Okay, that sounds.
It makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I need some love in my life, but I go sprinkle around as I walk.
Talk to Akai. So come on out tonight and talk to Akai. He may be able to help you. Look at what he does.
Indeed.
So this has been great. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
WinFM,
guys.
as Jade, for having us.
All right, for sure. It was our pleasure. And again, see you guys tonight. But guys, we're going to take a short break. Yeah, we're going to take a short break and be right back with more Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. Stick and stay, guys.
Feel the magic happening.
Campari.
Taste. Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
Hey guys, welcome back to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. It is Friday.
Indeed it is.
And we're about to jump into tea time. Jade, what do we have on the agenda?
Well, there are some allegations that somebody's clarifying. So it says Nivision Minister Spencer Brand clarifies allegation of profiting from CBI project stated by PM Harris.
Yo, where the man find these pictures of Tim, man?
Right?
Where these man find these pictures of Tim?
This picture of Tim is hilarious because the man just looked like, I said it, and so what?
You see the one on the billboard about the prison?
Yeah, man.
I said, where the man finding these pictures?
Why do you keep wasting all this money on these billboards?
And that's the thing for me, you know. That's the ironic thing for me. The ironic thing about it for me is you hear complaining about wastage of money and priorities, and then we got these big billboards around.
Anyway.
You think people like you think that's a thing, like people looking at that and going, oh my god.
No.
That's what I mean. It's not that the message is if you want to get the message out, cool, but I mean about.
First of all, half the people I'm thinking is a PLP billboard.
Because it's orange?
Yeah, so they're just seeing Tim on an orange billboard, they're reading it. They're thinking, Tim just putting up a picture all over the place. They didn't even know. To be honest with this.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was a PLP billboard as well. Until I recognized that's not a flattering picture. That as a matter, is the picture, not the words that got me to say, well, that don't look like a PLP thing, it's a picture.
Shall I use this one? So, Honorable Spencer Brand, Public Works Minister in the Nevis Island Administration, is being publicly criticized following a statement made by Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris that Mr. Brand is set to profit some US $44 million from a CBI project. Must be nice.
What are we doing, Jade?
Not enough.
What are we doing with our lives?
Not enough.
Come in here, talk every day. But anyway.
And no money. No offers.
Not all.
No positions.
Shawn, say you want 2 young people on a board.
These
2 young people.
Bye. Dr. Harris, the Federation's finance minister, made that revelation on Wednesday, June 29th, 2022, at a press conference hosted by his cabinet. He said, a member of the Mac Brantley's cabinet, Spencer Brand, is also a developer in the CBI program, and Spencer Brand's project came to the cabinet, supported by the NIA, for us to give them shares. It is that the government is funding Spencer Brand's project. Is it about US $44 million? Is it that the federal government will take up nearly EC $120 million to fund Spencer Brand's project. Or that Spencer Brand will go and find interested people. They understand how it works. Sorry, this a clear shot to this prison thing, eh? Got clear shot.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
He isn't trying to be.
Oh. Y'all so petty. Oh, y'all
But
so
this
petty.
is why I just asked Mr. Richards exactly what the issue was, because the issue can't be just that the program exists.
No.
Right? And I was happy that he was able to articulate some of what was the issue, because just looking on was difficult for me to figure out what the issue was. I mean, they were the ones who literally touted this type of arrangement and situation in relation to the Ramada, how we were able to help fund and bring the Ramada here.
Hey, Ramada funding this? That's what I see. Somebody said.
No, it's another project under the CBI program.
Oh, somebody said that this.
See what happened is the
the
CBI
people under who over Ramada or who built the Ramada apparently, allegedly supposed to be building the prison.
Okay, but even if that's the case, then what's the
Sir, I don't know, you know. I just tell you what the people say. I don't know. But Prime Minister Harris made that revelation in comparison to the prison being built at Estridge Estate on St. Kitts, which has generated intense public dialogue. Miss J.D. Keynes, the Nevis Reformation Party's candidate coming up against Mr. Brand in the impending local elections, raised questions about the matter. I have since called the MP, Member of Parliament, who has been named by Prime Minister Harris as the current parliamentary representative for Nevis 1, Charlestown, to come forward and offer some clarification on this matter. I have asked, what is really going on? Could it be that the Prime Minister misspoke when he named the member for Nevis 1? Could it be that it is true and we may have another Alexandra Hospital debacle on our hands? How many that is? Somebody need to tell us, what with the Alexandra Hospital? All I want is clarification, Miss Kane said.
I want to hear his response. That's what I want to hear.
She said, we deserve an explanation. In fact, one worth you... Sorry. She said, we deserve an explanation. In fact, one worth US 44 million. I will add that it is really disgusting that we continue to hear rumors of our ministers seeking to excessively enrich themselves by raping the system while many of us suffer. We need answers because it is not their government, it is our government. You said you want to hear his
Yeah,
answer,
go ahead,
right?
go ahead. I want to hear
Okay.
his response before I comment.
Mr. Brand, in an address Thursday, June 30th, set the record straight on the matter. He said Dr. Harris claims that I, Spencer Brand, as a sitting member of the Nevis Island government, am involved in the Citizenship by Investment program. Just to be clear, I became a member of the Nevis Island administration as an elected member of the Nevis Island Assembly on 17th December 2017. However, in 2008, my wife and I purchased some 5 acres of land from a Dr. Eustace Huggins at Cox Health Estate, St. John's Parish, Nevis, through a loan facilitated from the Bank of Nevis Limited. In subsequent years, I, in my capacity as an architect, sought to develop those lands. On the 12th of November 2014, in a letter under the head of the Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Stedman Truss, from the Nevis Island government, headed at the time by the late Vance W. Amory, responded to my application to develop those lands.
Develop those lands.
This has to be a typo. And I quote, "Dear Mr. and Mrs. Brand, we are pleased to inform you that we have made recommendation to the federal government that your project at Cox Health Estate be approved under the Economic Citizenship Program.
Okay.
Please note, however, that you will have to make formal application to the St. Kitts Investment Promotion Agency, Skipper, for approval. I subsequently made application to the St. Kitts Investment Promotion Agency as mandated by law. In a letter dated 27th of November 2015 from Mr. Stanley Jacobs, Director Investment Promotion at the St. Kitts Investment Promotion Agency, and I quote, "Dear Mr. Brand, we refer to your application seeking approved project status under the Citizenship by Investment Program and other incentives for your projected Atlantic View condos. Please be advised that your request was submitted to the Cabinet and it has approved the following in principle pending the approved drawings and confirmation of approved financing from the bank. Designation of the development as an approved project under the Citizenship by Investment Program. Permission to sell off plan provided that an escrow account is established and evidence of the same is submitted to Skipper and the Citizenship by Investment Unit. Please note that your request for use of the timeshare mechanism for 1,224 shares was not approved. We wait the submission of the above for final approval on your application.
What's the date? When that was dated? I let the excerpt from letter in. Go back.
Excerpts from a letter dated March 5th, 2021 from Miss... No, this is a different letter. The one above was from the 27th of November.
And that's 2015. So he wasn't in.
No.
So all this was going on before.
Yes.
But let me ask you a question, Jade. How you feel? This is a serious question. Because the thing for me is there's been other parliamentarians who have been involved in the CBI prior to their election, right? That's how you feel about a parliamentarian outside of, or let's say they have a company that does development, continuing to do the development.
Continuing as in they started before they were elected?
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with that.
How do you feel if a parliamentarian starts a company to do development while they're in office?
Is there some rule that says that they
can't? No, I say how you feel. So do you feel there should be rules?
Not necessarily. I don't. I mean, people go and look at it as, then they're benefiting off of projects that they started and stuff. And yes, it will look a little funny. However, if there's not a rule about it, I don't see the issue. If there's a rule stated that they can't, then yes.
But the question, I guess my question would be, do you think that there should be a rule?
I've never thought about it, honestly, so I don't know.
But and see that is the issue. For me, I think what constantly frustrates me about these particular topics is that the more I hear people talk about it, is the more I recognize that people don't understand how the CBI works.
Well, yeah, that's a fair point.
People don't understand how it works. And so what has happened is, like, you get all these people having ideas. Like, there's people who literally feel that what it is that people apply to the government for a passport, and then they pay $100 and however much $1,000, and then the government ships the passport after them.
But you know why that is? Because for years upon years, that's what has been put out. It's not like a bunch of people taking their time out of their day to go read and figure out what the CBI is. They're going based on the information that is put out in the public. So,
but the information, I don't even know if that information is being put out in the public. I think what it is, it's a lack of information being put out. I'll tell you why. For instance, the way that it is spoken about is saying it's selling passport.
That's what I mean.
So nobody's stopping to figure out, well, how does that process work? People just going, they just sell passports. So the thing is, like when you go to Rams to go buy some water.
You want a passport?
And you want a pass, like there's this, like it's just like they give people permission to go sell passports, and they just sell passports.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And this been a thing for years, eh?
Since the 80s, Jade.
Yeah, man.
We started this thing. Like, thing is literally started.
And then...
But what I'm saying is that people, through their misinformation, constantly create narratives that suggest that the CBI program is somehow this undercover thing. I think the other issue for me as well, what adds to that is the fact that the persons who seemingly benefit for it tend to be from a certain social economic class.
Yep.
Which may be the case because in order to play in that game, you kind of have to have some money,
Yeah, man,
right?
you
Or
have
have
to
some
have something in the bank.
have some financial backing.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is that there is always a level of distrust between people who have and people who don't have. So that
Yeah.
also adds to the thing, right? That also
Yep.
adds to the thing because it seems like it's certain people who are able. Now, what I think would help, of course, like I said, is educating people on how the system works, and of
Yep.
course, it's been ever evolving. Even this idea of using the CBI to fund projects like the prison, right, is a development, right?
Yeah.
One that I think, like personally, I don't have an issue with it.
No, I think coming out of the
Because-
government pocket
because-
and we
Because for me, what was happening was that it centered around for a long time real estate. And so what was happening was that you have all these developments that are being built around, and of course they're not being built for us. Like like most locals would not be able to afford them even if they wanted to.
Facts.
Only if you may have had like maybe two young professionals who both have, a couple who have like some, well, like good paying jobs come together to be able to afford it. And then half of them, they're too small, so they can't even raise a family in it if they wanted to.
True.
So they weren't being built for us. So it was like these timeshares, this real estate thing. I'm glad to see that the projects that are being funded by the CBI now are things that could possibly impact the wider nation, right? So if the prison is the first one, no problem. I don't suspect it's going to be the last.
No.
Right?
Somebody also asked me, but it's led me to action. If that, let me not don't misquote the question again. Somebody said, based on priorities, the prison will never be built. Is he saying that the prison should be last on the list?
Well, no, and that's been one. And I said it yesterday, I think, when I kept saying that, like, it's not that we've been needing a prison forever.
Yeah, man.
Right? Is it because, and to me too, it's a little disheartening when you start asking, okay, why is the prison seemingly so low on the totem pole? Is it because the belief is that the people who are there somehow just is okay for society to just forget them and cast them aside and whatever? The prison needs to be moved out of town. The issue for me would have been if there was an absolute disregard for some of the other issues. So, for instance, if you're talking about healthcare, everybody know we have issues with healthcare. We've spoken about them here and here, time and time again. But right now being built is the health center in St. Peter's that I think is going to go a long way in aiding the thing. Not only that, when we start talking about the healthcare system, I don't believe that all of the issues have to do with infrastructure. Infrastructure is a big part, yes. But I believe that we do have some management issues. We have also, I think, based on what I've seen, just talking to nurses and things like that, even a staff shortage, right? So those are things that need to be addressed as well.
Somebody's asking why they couldn't be built at the same time.
And that is the whole problem. That is the whole point I've been making. And not only that, why is it that we expect now that everything that the country needs, we just make a CBI program for it? It just becomes a CBI project?
Yeah.
No, government gonna dip into the coffers, pay for some. Some of them we gonna partner with. And that's the thing, there's different ways to fund these things. I think we also have to get creative with how we start doing these things, whether it is some of the grants that are available, whether it is like money that comes directly out of the treasury, raised through taxation, etc. Whether it is we use the CBI program, whether it is we partner with some of our diplomatic partners, the Taiwanese, etc. Like there's different ways to fund these things. The thing is that we just have to get them done because they need to be done. But that's what I don't like. I don't like sometimes when you go, we need this thing, But right now, it's in my best interest to pit it against this other thing that we need. Yeah, we need both. Like we do need healthcare. We do need we do need the and the minister, former minister, listed several critical needs: education, healthcare, the water situation, particularly in areas like Kayan. All of these need to be addressed.
I just feel like these.
But the prison need to be addressed too.
I agree. I just hope whoever is elected in this upcoming election, we stop hearing them say we need to address them, and just address them.
But you see, the thing for me to Jade is that we must understand that there will always be things that need to be addressed.
Yes, I know, but the things that we need have been needs. These are new needs, you know.
But that's what I'm saying, Jade. So the things are always there to be worked on. There's always going to be things that need to be worked on. So people could always point and say, but look what we need. So that for me is necessary, but it can't be where the conversations end. We need this. How do we achieve it? Right? So, hey, for instance, even things that we don't need, right? Even things that we don't need, but we think can help to improve the quality of life for persons. Things that could help to spark economic activity. We talk about the bridge from St. Kitts to Nevis, right? So let me I'll give you an example, right? We talk about the CBI program as a way for funding. We talk about grants from international institutions, right? A lot of them exist now simply because we are former slave colonies, are members of the Commonwealth, you know.
Whatever reason
but there's the international institutions that are funding certain things. For instance, I was talking to a particular individual who is running an educational facility in a building. I said, well, the building needs some work. Perhaps what we could do is, this building holds a lot of historical value. Perhaps we could make a proposal to have it designated as some type of heritage site, and that would then open it up to certain funding, to certain things that could help to improve the facilities, right?
Okay.
So you kind of have to get creative. It ain't enough to just say, oh, we need this, right? For instance, we're talking about the bridge. Okay, maybe we might not take the money out of the treasury to go build a bridge. Perhaps we might not make the bridge a CBI program. Who knows? But I keep saying, what about self-funding? What if instead of going to persons overseas to help and fund the bridge, what if we open it up to the public?
You know what the public answer? This is not my responsibility. This is the responsibility of the government.
No.
We need to figure it
No, Jade. I personally.
But that's what I'm going to say?
No, Jade. I don't think that.
Okay.
I don't think that. If there is a situation, you're telling me that I can buy shares in a project for a bridge from St. Kitts to Nevis, there'll be tolls, and you could make the argument that, hey, because I ain't buying into it for me. I'm buying into it for my children.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if I am able to invest, get a certain amount of shares in let's say a 3-mile, 4-mile bridge from St. Kitts to Nevis, and somehow, based on the figures, I could see returns in the next 10, 15 years, right? Of X amount percentage based on the
cost per share?
Yeah, or how much I invested. I pass them shares on to my children.
As you should.
I think
just don't think a lot of people can think like
I would buy shares in that bridge. Like, people would do it. So I'm saying we have to get creative. We have to get creative in the way we fund some of these things. Everything can't just be tax. Just like how everything can't just be sell passport. There are ways in which we have to do, and then not only that, and then when we start doing these things, you can't just go and watch and say, well, we needed this. Why we didn't just make it a CBA program? Why we make that a CBA? But who cares? The thing them just need to get done. What needs to happen, of course, is proper oversight to ensure that there's not abuses, right? To ensure that people aren't just like enriching this. And this is something that happens all over the world. Right now, they got a big thing happening in the Congo, where some stuff leak saying that the let's call them the royal family, right? The royal family in the Congo been seriously benefiting from contracts that were given to Chinese developers to develop the cobalt and the copper mines, right? So there's always going to be that. So we need to ensure that there's proper oversight and thing. Now, how do we allow also persons who may not fully be in, let's say, a certain clique? Because sometimes it feels like the persons who are able to get some of the right. Mm-hmm. So you have the institutions like Skipper, right? Mm-hmm. People need to figure out Skipper. So if I have a project, I might have some land that I inherit from my grandfather. Mm-hmm. My uncle had some land down here. I thinking, but you know what? I have a love for the arts.
Let me develop it.
I have a love for the arts. We need a performing arts center. Mm-hmm. How do I then take what I have, which is this land, go to Skipper, right, with a project for developing the land, mm-hmm. and then build that out so that the country could then benefit from what it is that is being built here. I could make some money as the developer, and we move forward. How does that process work? Them things need to be out in the public so people understand. So we get people creatively thinking about how to benefit from some of these programs that exist. Because it does feel sometimes like it's the same people over and over and over again.
I hate ignorant people, you know. Like I really feel like y'all will be willful. And if y'all ain't willful...
Okay, so you're talking about Chelston Liddy comment?
Yeah, man.
He says, so us under the CBI, but people out of St. Kitts get passport.
So what that even mean? Eh?
But we have a prison here. It's grossly.
No, we're not a prison.
It's grossly overpopulated. We
don't have a prison. Nobody goes to jail in St. Kitts.
Oh.
It's only when they're building new one, all of a sudden people go in jail.
Yeah. So the place up on
I don't know what you call it, but it's not a jail.
Okay. So we don't need one.
No. We don't have crime. Why would we need a jail?
So what we're supposed to do then is either the two options would then be, what he's saying is leave things as they are, mm-hmm. focus on other things, mm-hmm. which we could make an argument, or we recognize there's a need, but take the money out of the treasury to go build it.
Yeah. Simple maths, isn't it?
That is what I'm saying, Jade. Everything can come the same way. Let me tell y'all something. I'll give you, listen to your Uncle Royal now.
Please.
Listen to your Uncle Royal. Little pro tip. I am not somehow an economist. I don't claim to be even smart.
No, you don't.
But what I believe is that there is no way that a government can tax its way into economic stability. Like, there is no way.
That can't work at all.
The country's needs will always outweigh the country's ability to tax the people to supply those needs. Mm-hmm. So you have to find other ways to generate income. Now, we well know that when governments get involved in, let's say, private enterprise, but a lot of times it don't always go the smoothest. Jesus Christ.
I'm too.
Jade, why you so messy? But yeah, we cannot tax our way into the green.
That is ridiculous.
Y'all know what the taxes them look like? Y'all think 17% VAT bad?
I would have struggled with the 17.
Hey, are we gonna talk in a little bit, just a few minutes, about what's going on in Anguilla? Is this what's going on in Anguilla?
We have to talk about it now because we have 10 minutes as in.
Yeah, so talk about it quick because main thing y'all me know if that's what y'all want to happen here. Go ahead, dude.
So another minister has resigned.
Another one?
Another one.
According to the DJ Khaled?
Another one. Diane Kentish Rogers resigns from government of Anguilla.
She must have.
Bye.
The man saying that's what should have happened here.
For you?
That's what they say. They say why they didn't just resign.
It's too late now, friend.
Too late.
It's too late. Yeah.
Yeah, that done gone.
Minister of Education and Social Development, Diane Kentish Rogers, has resigned from the government of Anguilla. She made the announcement earlier today in Anguilla's House of Assembly during debate on amendments to the Goods and Services Tax Bill.
One tax.
Kentish Rogers said while she has already shared her resignation with the Premier, she has not shared it with the public. I have tenured my resignation from the Anguilla Progressive Movement and as the Minister of Education and Social Development. And I pray that in majority and in the remainder of the tenure of Anguilla Progressive Movement, that there can be some introspection and transformation and a compassionate approach that would help us lead these people and unify the country. She told the House that she took the time to sit with constituents to hear and feel their concerns, and the prevailing message from the conversations with them over the past 3 days is they viewed her act of resigning from the government of Anguilla as a betrayal of the people of District 4 of the constituency they elected her to represent. The minister said she has to take accountability for the manner in which we dealt with the good and services tax. She said they continue to face crisis after crisis on a national level, with this one that they face today directly impacting the consumer. It is also my opinion, that the government could have averted this crisis. Kentish Rogers is the second government minister to resign within the past week. Last week, Kyle Hodge, the Minister for Economic Development, resigned, citing issues with the subject of the GST.
So government is a minority government there now.
Why?
Is a minority government in Anguilla now. Look at that.
Imagine that. And the political party issues. Hodge, who was also in the House of Assembly today, spoke as an independent opposition member and said he was speaking not as a member of the Anguilla Progressive Movement or Anguilla United Front opposition, but as a representative of the people of Anguilla. The tax code ministers, them are resigning.
No, do I believe that everything is as it seems black and white? No. I believe there's, of course, some politics at play here. Perhaps they're trying to overthrow the government. Who knows? I don't know. But what I'm saying is that this is a serious thing. It's causing serious ripples in Anguilla. I don't know if you recognize, Jay, that there have been 2 days now where business has been closed in Anguilla.
Somebody just said the same thing. A couple of the businesses are closed at the moment in protest of
the implementation
today. So they're implementing a tax. Let me go look to see what the tax is about, so I could tell the listeners and viewers.
But Fleming, Mr. Fleming, tell us quickly. There's also a march today in protest. I think there's also a march in protest. Is it an increase of an existing tax or the implementation of a new tax? But I know that, I think it's a few days now, at least 2 days for sure, where businesses have closed down in protest. They just closed down. They ain't opening.
Yeah, that's it.
They ain't opening.
That's our business, but me?
Watch it. Let me tell you something. The government, for creating the environment that we're able to enjoy, they must be paid for somehow. And so taxation, there's implementation for new tax. So the government the government is going to of course need some revenue, right? They have things to do, right?
Yeah.
But the issue is governments must recognize you can't tax your way out of poverty. You can't tax your way into economic stability. You can't tax, especially when you see people coming out of the pandemic. And not only that, I think in Anguilla, all of this is exacerbated because Anguilla is a tourism destination. You got to understand places like Anguilla, 6 months out of the year, not doing.
And now you're telling them that they have to give the government more money. Let me tell you what this tax is. The GST is a tax on the consumption of goods and services. It will be charged on the value of imports and on the value-added markup on goods and services supplied domestically by GST-registered businesses. Businesses add GST to the price they charge when they provide goods and services. The GST collected during a tax period will be remitted to the government of Anguilla on the 20th day of the following month. That is to come into, that will start today.
Yeah, today. But Jade, in a nutshell, they get that.
They get that, man.
In a nutshell, it's very similar to our VAT. Very, very similar.
Oh boy.
Right. So what happened in it is that it was, I understand that the British, remember their colony?
Mm-hmm.
So the British said that they must implement it to balance the 20 million shortfall in the budget. They got to pay for the money somehow. They got to pay for the stuff somehow.
Listen, we can't win, I don't know why y'all bring us down on this earth for,
Jade, once we went into the fiat system, money, and started fooling ourselves that the resources are somehow all gonna be done out within the next 5 years. So we need to have this thing called money.
This is so ridiculous.
Yeah, let me go back to battle, see?
I feel like we could afford things more. Because every single time I look at my account and I see the money that I wish I had.
I want to answer
always
that
a bill.
but
No, it's okay. It's always a bill. It's always a tax. It's always a cost. It's always something. You just can't live. Why bring us down your far?
you think this is what God had intended for us?
No. Because they say how it starts.
Yeah, God didn't have this. Everything was free in the garden, yeah?
How I go from free to this?
Yeah, Craig, we see cars coming in, we're just ignoring them. I want him to feel like being recognized.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're just ignoring the cars right now.
Yeah.
We only got 2 minutes left.
And our calls will be 10 minutes long. So they might take a mat.
Yeah, and I think that is the thing for me. I think people understand that, hey, government got the tax, right? But they also, this will be my issue with the taxation for me, the increase in taxation. Everything going up, including the government's cost, right? The government's wage bill going up.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
But
Well, in terms of a cost going up,
okay,
right? I think what people believe is that, okay, let us find creative ways to earn revenue for the government, right? It can't just be come back to the people to say tax us, right? So yeah, we have programs like the CBI here. We have ways to fund things through our diplomatic relations, like I was speaking to earlier, right? What about?
No problem, Craig. You let him come.
No, I done working on it.
Okay.
I done working on it. All right. Craig, you need to come back. You need to come back on the show. Big hit. But yeah, so I think what people saying is like, look, yeah, let's find other creative ways instead of just taxing people. People also saying, hey, if we recognize that, hey, we have to offset some of the costs by taxation, then those things either have to be implemented at a time when people could handle it, or it has to be gradual to allow people to adjust in a way where they don't feel it as much.
Yeah, right.
The other thing is when we see things like government not doing things, and again, optics, not doing things to, for instance, decrease wastage, to increase efficiency, then it becomes, like people get upset. Mm-hmm. If when every time we look, we just see up and down all the time, hours of the night, we see government vehicles driving all over the place. If we're just recognizing that instead of shifting from paper type of interactions and transactions, we stick into those type of things instead of going to paperless. So we're recognizing, hey,
the amount of paper I know the government does buy a month time.
Right, Jade. When we see instead of somehow building out commercial sectors and fixing up the buildings all around town that the government owns, to house government buildings, the government is going and is paying rent up and down the place. Every time I look, I can't find a government building because I move into somebody else's building.
I stop looking now.
I walk through the circus today, they realize Department of Culture upstairs there somewhere. I say, what is that? When that they happen? So these are the things that people are going to be looking at when you start to tax them, because it's like, but wait there, I am tax me to wait more of my money.
The money that we don't even have.
So until we start seeing some of these things, people will be upset over these tax implementations.
Rightfully so too, especially when the people y'all taxing don't can't afford the taxes y'all have currently. We don't have no money. The private sector workers barely making any money. All the increases around the country, they mainly benefit government workers. We don't get increases. And we know that the government can't tell private businesses to increase.
They could do the minimum wage. They could do minimum, but that's about it.
Y'all have to find programs to help us as well.
But that is the thing, Jade. On one hand, you see governments, and of course, this might not be specific to what we are doing here, right? Into our present situation. But governments recognizing that there are shortfalls, that there are people who are in tough economic situations and putting in place certain social safety nets to address that. At the same time, you're taxing. Even the same, when you put tax on consumption, is everybody paying you? The same people who you're helping going to pay the same tax what you're implementing. So it's like you're giving it one way and taking it back the next way. But anyway.
We have to
That's
leave.
Anguilla. Anguilla figure it out. But guys, we have to leave. We got to go. We got to listen back. Of course, guys, up next is Sandra with Your View.
And she has two very special guests this morning.
Tell them now so they don't go away.
Yeah, man. So this morning she will be chatting with the women of PLP.
Hey, I like to tell them. Akila, keep big up yourself.
Yeah, man.
Sandra, big up yourself too.
Yes.
But guys,
remember that said she's a woman of PLP too, So.
Oh, that's what I said. That's what I said. Remember, every week we come in here, we change her.
Yeah, man. Oh, this Sandra don't change. I want to be like her. I want to be like you. Consistency. But
guys, we gotta leave. We gotta go with it. We gotta listen back. It's been a really amazing week. Thanks to all of the guests. Thanks to all the people who've called and been a part of the show. Thanks to all of you who look at us online, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, winmediaskn.com. We appreciate it so much. But guys, just in the interest of time, we're gonna just run right into it.
Quickly,
yes.
I just have to say, after Sandra, there's Voices with Devon, and he will have Delante on as well. This is the morning of the candidates, boy. I mean, not the candidates, the party.
The party.
Delante is not.
Shawn was here. Shawn was here.
We have two lovely ladies coming up, and then Delante after. So stick and stay to Win FM. You have lots of things happening this morning.
All right, guys. Yes, indeed. But guys, remember, learn from the losses of others, okay? Spend more time living your content than posting it. Please. Some of y'all wouldn't hear. You understand? Live your life. Everything ain't got to go on Facebook. Some of y'all looking jokey out there. But anyway.
For free.
For free. Mm-hmm. But guys, and of course, please remember, you can't